Well, hi, everybody. We're really happy to have you here in person at Cross Country Campus. So, great day to have our fans here. We're really excited about that. It's been a long time, and it's going to make all the difference to our players having our fans here cheering them on. So, it's really an exciting time for us. It's been a pretty hard time, as all of you all have been through, and getting our staff vaccinated 100% and our players almost 90% vaccinated is great work. So we'll continue to work on that. Really important for the organization and really important for the health and safety of our team. So we'll keep working on that. We're also really excited to get back to First Energy Stadium, and we're sold out. Our season tickets are sold out, and we can't wait to have it full with fans for this really exciting year. So thanks for being here today.
Yeah, just echo what Dee said. It was great to see the fans out here yesterday, and you all were all here, and the excitement it brings to our players and just to everybody. So, and we really can't thank our fans enough for just what outstanding fans we have here. They are the best, no question about it. Paul, Andrew, and Kevin continue to work closely together, and I think have put together a good team. We're all realistic that, as Kevin continually preaches, there's a lot of work to do. But certainly feel directionally correct about where we're headed and how things are going, and really excited about practice today. Excited about full scrimmage next Sunday. Certainly excited about our exhibition games, having the Giants here for a couple of days, and hopefully get us ready for a big game in Kansas City on September 12th. So we're glad to answer any questions you might have.
Is there anything specific behind the scenes that was done that you think helped the vaccination rates?
With our players, this is Brown specific or in general?
Yeah.
So Brown specific.
With the players, get decided at the beginning that you guys felt it's great work.
Yeah, I think the NFL and the organization have both done a really good job about talking about safety and health and safety. I mean, that's what we preach every day in the NFL, and I think it paid off over a period of time. And I think we're at 90+% with the players, 100% with the staff. So I think it's education of the importance of taking the vaccine.
Do we have to temper your excitement or enthusiasm for this season with all these high expectations?
Listen, with our record the previous few years, I mean, we're realistic to how hard it is to win in the NFL. So I think Dee and I'll let Dee speak, but very realistic about the role injuries play, breaks, etc., just how hard it is to win in the NFL. So we're excited that people are mentioning us the way they are, but we're also realistic about how much work we have to do, and like I said, how hard it is to win in the NFL.
Yeah, I think the coach does a really good job of laying out each week and not getting ahead of ourselves. So take each game at a time. He talks about that all the time, and I think we look at it like that too. It's game to game.
Today is July the 31st, right? And our last regular season game is January 10th. It's a long time from now.
Hey, Jimmy, salary cap-wise, it would seem in the team's best interest to be proactive when it comes to giving the quarterback a second contract, and yet their agent says they're willing to do it now. What exactly is the holdup?
I think Andrew's answered those questions, Tony, and those are best questions for him. He does a really good job for us. I think he's addressed that with you guys already. But
Well, he just said he doesn't want to talk about it.
so but I'll stick with Andrew.
You could overrule.
Hey, Jimmy, when you stand out here and watch practice, how struck are you by the amount of talent this team has?
Yeah, it's fun. I was talking to one of our senior talent evaluators, and I always ask, what do you think? What are you worried about? What do you like? What you don't like? And he said, it's clear that we have talent on the field, but now that has to move into wins, and that's what we got to see happen now. But it's exciting. It's fun to be at practice. It's exciting to see the athletes we have. Excited to see the staff we have.
Could you tell in some of those lean years that the talent wasn't there when you would walk out in that
Yeah, I
practice?
mean, I'm not a football expert, but you guys, on the hoof, we look good, right? When you walk in, on the hoof, we look good, but it's got to translate into wins, right?
Even I think before last season, you talked about how happy Odell was. You could just tell he was, and then obviously he had the injury. Do you see him in even a better place? When we talked to him Sunday at that camp, he talked about how mentally he feels even better than he did last year.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him a little bit on the field yesterday or day before, and he seems in a great place and really excited about this season. So it was great to see him.
And hats off to how hard he's worked.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hurt, what was that, mid to late October, and you all seen him run and cut, and he looks tremendous.
When you hired Paul DePodesta, I think it was 2016, I think he acknowledged that he kind of still had something to learn about football. So I guess how have you seen him grow in his role? And he's sort of been like the one consistent piece since back then. So how important has his presence been?
I mean, Paul is incredibly smart and, a great thirst for learning. So having him part of the organization and, guiding the process and being here consistently for here, I think has made a huge difference.
I agree. I mean, he's very, very smart and gets up the learning scale very quickly and has no ego, just like Kevin and Andrew, and is a good team player and just an all-around great person to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Dee and Jimmy, what exactly is the long-term goal or vision of Haslam Sports Group? You want to add to those holdings? You have a soccer club and a football team and another company. Are you looking to add to that portfolio?
I think we have our hands full right now, and I think that's what we're focused on right now is, with the Crew and the Browns. I mean, that's a lot right now. I think that's our focus. I don't know what's down the road, but that's definitely our focus.
As you cede the ownership of Pilot in 2023, do you see Haslam Sports Group as being a family business, the main family business?
Well, we still will own 20% of Pilot, so we'll still have a fairly significant stake in it, and it'll always be part of our lives, to be honest. But, listen, we like sports, we like business, so Dee said it right. We feel like we have both the Crew and the Browns in a good place here, but we need to make sure that happens before we add anything else.
Yeah,
What is your vision?
Sorry, Whitney and JW are very much involved in all of that, so we do consider it definitely a family business.
I'm sorry, Dee.
That's okay.
Obviously, I mean, it's obvious you guys are looking to expand this complex, the space you've acquired and that. Just, what's your timetable? What is your vision of what this complex can be for not only the Browns, but Haslam Sports Group?
Yeah, we're actually excited, and you all see because you come in the back entrance and you see it's exciting. And I'll be honest, it's not set in stone, but first goal is to make it even better for the players and the coaches and everybody who works here. And second is to make it better for the fans. And third is to help this community. And I think we have a chance to do all that. We do not have concrete plans right now, but have a lot of exciting ideas. And Dave Jenkins and his team are working on those every day. So obviously we like this campus. It's going to be part of the Browns for a long, long time to come. And I'll just reiterate what I said. We're excited about what this can be over the next several years.
Jimmy, follow on that real quick though. You guys have invested a tremendous amount in this facility since you took over this team. So I guess my question would be, what do you think's missing? What do you need?
Well, I think we can, particularly once we get by COVID, we can expand the experience here for our fans, okay? I think you're always looking to see football operation-wise, and Andrew, Kevin, et cetera, weigh in there. What can we do to make it even better for our players? And I don't want to get into too much, but I think there's some things we can do for this community and expanding it also.
Jimmy, you mentioned the word realistic, but with that in mind, 18 months in for Kevin and Andrew, what's been most impressive about that and what they've been able to do?
God, there's a lot of things, but I would say just how they navigated last year. I mean, let's face it, you all have been around pro sports a long time. NFL's, it's hard. It's hard in ideal circumstances, and they came in with something called COVID that none of us really understood. We didn't have any practices in the spring. We had no team meetings. Everything was virtual. Every morning between 5:30 and 6, you would wake up and text, and you hope and pray nobody tested positive. But lots of times they did. And, we head into a playoff game against Pittsburgh without our head coach. And I think organizations reflect their leadership, and our team didn't blink at all. And that's because Kevin and Andrew, and y'all have been around, they don't blink, you know what I mean? They keep going, they don't make excuses. They understand there's going to be ups and downs, and just how they navigated last year was exceptionally impressive to us.
After
Stefanski and Barry were hired, we were talking to you guys and Paul Di Podesta about his contract and given everything he's meant to the organization. Is there any update on that?
Yeah, Paul's going to be with us for a significant amount of time, okay? And Paul's not the type, you don't need to announce something on Paul's behalf, but he's going to be with us for a significant amount of time.
So there was a new deal?
Yeah, yes,
reached?
absolutely. And it lines up with the other guys, so.
So you mean to say that 5 years for Barry, Stefanski, and Paul?
Correct. And that makes all the sense, and we're super excited about that.
And has that fit between the three of them been everything that you guys hoped it would be?
I'd say better.
Yeah.
I'd say better.
Yeah, more so.
I mean, they talk,
Great.
as you all know, Paul's not here all the time, but they talk every morning at 9 o'clock for an hour, and, you know, they work together exceptionally well. Exceptionally well.
I mean, they talk.
You mentioned COVID several times. You know, while vaccination rates are doing better around here, cases are on the rise, and the Delta variant is new. What is your concern level that by fall we're back to, not necessarily back to where we were, but that we may not have fans in the stadium as we did? That is there a contingency plan? I'm sure there probably must be.
Well, we've been focused on getting the message out that everybody needs to be vaccinated. And the Delta variant is obviously something to be of concern, but everything we've been told is if you've had your vaccination, it's not as severe, it's much better. So that's what we're hoping, but obviously we'll follow all the safety protocols and keep up to date on what's going on. I don't think anybody knows at this point, but right now we're looking forward to having our fans back, and that's what we're thinking about.
Yeah, I would just add that, I mean, we watch it here, we watch it at Pilot, and the cases are on the uptick, and I would just encourage everyone to take the vaccine, take both shots if you've not already, because it's important for your health and safety, and it's important for the country.
There was a story in September that Haslam Sports Group was pursuing the Minnesota Timberwolves. The company issued a denial of that.
We've looked at a lot of different opportunities over the last year or two.
Any in Ohio? Would you like to concentrate your holdings in Ohio?
It would make sense, but you know we're used to operating all over the place. We evaluate things on a regular basis, and like Dee said, we've got between Dee's company, Pilot, the Browns, and the Crew, we've got a lot going on.
How pleased were you with, recently ODOT gave the grant for the land bridge study exploration. That is something that you guys have been very supportive of, trying to get that project moving forward, because obviously it doesn't impact the stadium. First part, how pleased were you to see that gets to move forward a little bit? And then just how much does that project impact maybe your long-term thought process about First Energy Stadium?
Well, I mean, first of all, we're really excited that the city is looking at how to connect downtown Cleveland to the waterfront. It's something that's been talked about for way before we were here, and so many different plans have been put forward. And I think the city is really serious. Obviously, with the grant, they're really serious about getting something done now. And we're obviously a big stakeholder on the lakefront, so having input there was really important. So we enjoy working with them and having input, and I look at it as we're one of the pieces of the pie. You know, right now we have, you know, we're on the waterfront. We plan to be there. We love where our stadium is, and we think once it gets connected, it's just going to be a great experience for not just our fans, but anyone that lives and works in Cleveland, and it creates this neighborhood that is so important to the vitality of downtown. So that's why we're excited about it.
Jimmy, it's well known that Paul Dolan has been seeking a minority investor for a couple of years. Did you guys research it at all?
No, we have not. We've not talked to Paul. Paul's a great friend. He's done a tremendous job with the Indians, but we have not talked about that.
A couple more? Jimmy, I obviously have no idea what it's like to be an NFL owner, but I would assume that one of the more stressful moments is game day, right? The result, why a lot of us are here, right? On the spectrum of your stress, if you will, considering where this team is now, the league, the fans are back, the vaccination rates, over the tenure of your ownership, is this one of the lower stress moments over your ownership tenure?
I think last year was the most stressful year yet. I mean, I had to spend half the time out in the hallway pacing because just the pressure and expectations of winning, I think, is very stressful. So I would have to say last year for me was as stressful as any other time. I don't know how Jimmy feels about that, but
Yeah, I think all that's true. At the same time, and Dee says this well, it's a blessing and a privilege to be in the NFL or on any kind of pro sports team. So
Yeah.
you've got to balance the two.
Does this feel lower stress? I mean, this atmosphere?
Well, today does.
Today
right?
does.
Second on September 12th.
I got you. I got you. Yeah. Thank you.
When you talk about taking everything day by day and not getting caught up in the buzz and the expectations, is that hard when you look at the talent and you see people talking about you guys in the Super Bowl?
It's really not for me. I'll let Dee answer. It's really not because, somebody could get hurt. I mean, just things happen, that's just reality. So, and this is a long grind. Like I said, it's, 6 weeks till our first game. So it's a long grind. I think we understand that, and we're not going to get too excited if we get off to a great start, and we're not going to, last year we lost our first game, 38-7? And we didn't panic, we came back and won and kind of righted the ship and started playing better. So I think you have to approach it that way, and certainly Kevin and Andrew role model that perfectly.
After some swings and misses, when did you know you had the right combination with Andrew and Kevin and Paul?
Like I said, the job they did last year, and just that had to be the hardest year for anybody to lead a pro sports organization, told us a lot. We felt good from the get-go, but working through that like they did and seeing them work together and not panic when things happen and just, keep grinding, keep concentrating, keep building the roster, keep getting better. We came out really feeling well.
Last year, no doubt, was a successful season. What would constitute a successful season this year?
Dee, that's your question.
Winning.
We're not going to put that on the guys. We all have high expectations. At the same time, we're going to be here for a long time and think we're in a position to have a good winning organization for consistently over a period of time.
I know we asked you about Baker and the contract, obviously because he's the quarterback, but the star who has the least amount of time before an expiring deal is Nick Chubb. What does he mean to the organization in your eyes?
Great player, even better person, and I can't say more than that. There's very few people I've met like Nick Chubb.
Great team player.
Yeah.
So obviously he's an elite running back, but when you talk about the kind of guy you want and things like that, and tough, smart, accountable, do those intangibles factor into your desire to keep him around?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that would go not just for Nick, but we have a bunch of other players like that. So, we re-signed Miles because he's a great player, but he's also a really good person. So I think that is smart, tough, accountable. That's what we're looking for, and the rest is in Andrew's court.